Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is me, what I look like. I'm taking you guys along for the ride today on my show. So, I wanted to do a video podcast along with my audio show for Bunny Beats Radio, and this is what it's going to be like. I wanted to use my camera, my actual camera, but my memory is full and I just was recording right now and it shut down on me. So I'm going to use my webcam. My webcam is not the best, you guys, and I wasn't trying to do this with my webcam. So this video is going to be very not good quality. But this is me, what I look like, if you guys were ever curious of who is behind the mic. This is me and I'm going to start the show. So, welcome aboard. And let me start recording now and put a little bit of intro background music. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on Bunny Beats Radio with me, your host, Bunny Beats. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys are new or if you guys are returning, today is a very special episode because I am doing a video along with the audio portion of the show. And the video, I just explained right now really quick before starting the recording process. The video is not going to be that great, you guys, and I do apologize. I was trying to do like this cool video and it didn't work out. My camera just, I guess I have too much stuff stored on my camera and I couldn't for the life of me just start deleting and saving things right now. So I'm doing it on my webcam, the video version of it. So if you guys want to watch me for at least 30 to 40 minutes, this is what I look like. And I will be posting it up on my YouTube page. So the portion of me talking is going to be on YouTube. So I want to say thank you to anyone listening, anyone joining today. Just ignore, I guess, what I look like because I'm not used to filming and I'm not really used to performing in front of a camera either. So if you guys decide to watch, this might be pretty boring just watching me sit here. And this is not something I feel like I can do all the time, especially because I don't have the best tech at the moment. I just use what I have. And pretty much when I watch a show or something and it's like a person talking and they have a video or depending on the show, there's two people having a conversation. I know like watching something requires a different attention span than actually listening to something. So for me, I feel that look, you guys, if you're watching this, you can tell I'm just sitting here talking directly to the camera. So I feel that there's different attention spans, different attention required for watching something. You really have to want to watch the subject matter in order to sit there for like 30 minutes or so, however long that show is, depending on, what you guys like. Because I do watch that sometimes. I have like shows that I want to go and like just chill and not have much going on in the background. So I'll listen to something that I wouldn't normally listen to if I didn't have time, right? So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that I'm very mindful of your time and I'm just very thankful for anyone who has joined my show in 2025 and going into 2026. I do have some full announcements, but I'll save those for the end. So without further ado, if you clicked on today's episode, then you guys know that we are going to be talking about New Year's resolutions, right? It's a new year, new me vibes, going on. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we say new year, new me? Why do we put resolutions to ourselves, to accomplish for this year? And this stuff can go back all the way to ancient civilizations. Back then, it was celebrated a little bit different than how it is now. I feel that now I don't want to say we have become materialistic, but to a certain extent, yes, it's celebrated differently than how it was before. So that's the episode today, and thank you guys for joining me. So I'm just gonna pause the music. I don't know if that's distracting. I wanted to add some sound effects like Happy New Year stuff, but I couldn't find the right ones to add, and the ones I did find were just like people talking in the background, so that would have been more distracting. So, going into the history of New Year's and why we celebrate it, that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about today. And this can go back, how I was saying, to ancient civilizations. And one of the first civilizations that I found that to have like celebrated New Year's, not in a traditional way how it is now, but more into springtime. That's when the New Year started for this civilization. Was the ancient Babylonians, back in Mesopotamia time. So pretty much, let me make sure I got this right in my database. The ancient Babylons pretty much were in power between the 6th century BCE, and eventually they became conquered by the Persians, because depending also, religion plays a part in this, and not only religion but cultures as well. We have different New Year's, right? If you guys are familiar with Chinese or Lunar New Year, that's celebrated in February. There's also Persian New Year, which I believe is celebrated in either March or April. And these New Years are celebrated around the spring equinox time. So, if you go even more back in time, the ancient Germans would celebrate Yule, and Yule predated like any religious celebrations or attachments. It was pretty much just uh, these, ancient humans celebrating the winter solstice. And back then, they would celebrate for a long period of time. It was like between 10 to 12 days, some of these festivities that they would do. So I feel like now we don't celebrate that long. We either do New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, which is just 2 days, right? If you're doing both. And we don't have like this long winter festival pretty much. So for us, celebrating the New Year in winter time, which lands on January 1st, it also depends on what hemisphere you're in. Because right now I feel that in Australia, it's their summertime, whereas we're in the Western Hemisphere, I believe. It's our winter. So it varies, right? Hemisphere wise as well. But for us here who are celebrating the New Year during winter time, winter season, it feels like, I don't know. I always thought to myself when I was younger, like, why is it during winter when it's cold? And as a kid, for me, when my family would celebrate, because we did celebrate in my household all the holidays growing up, New Year's Eve for me was fun as a kid because finally I can stay up with all my cousins until midnight, right? My parents would never let us do that before, so when it was New Year's, I knew we were staying up late, we were partying and just being silly. As an adult now, I feel that, it's changed how we celebrate because over the years, my family doesn't gather as much anymore. We don't really party as hard as hardy. I meant to say we don't party hardy anymore, and it's different now. This last New Year, just recently, 2025, we didn't do anything. All we did was have dinner and stayed home in our pajamas and waited. At least my husband and I, we waited till actually midnight to say yay, happy New Year's to each other. That was it for 2025. And going back to Yule, like the ancient Germans, I feel that, yes, I feel a connection to that now as an adult, where I feel that during this time, it's a dormant time of the year during winter, and things are dormant. Animals hibernate, they seek shelter during this time. The foliage, whether if it's not evergreen, it's dropping and pretty much just dormant. So I feel like for humans, in a way, that also, for me as an adult now, what I'm trying to say is that I feel like I just want to rest during this time. I want to recover my energy from all the things I've done in the year, and then just wait until the sun is out and it feels warm enough to be comfortable being out there. And even in the past, like civilization wise, you would have to like gather all your food before the harsh winters so that you can survive during the winter time. Now we don't really do that because we have produce readily available everywhere we go, but back then that's not how it was. So as like your humanly instinct from deep within yourself, I think sometimes does want to rest during this time. And it does feel appropriate, to be honest, because that's how I've been feeling like the last few years as I grow and have become a full adult on my own, personal growth journey and stuff like that. So, besides me just going off right now on a tangent, that's what winter feels like for me, like a time to reset myself, to just be cozy at home, and you know because it's a lot keeping up with every demand that life has to throw at you, whether it's your work, your household life, other things that you can't control. It's a lot just being alive. It's crazy. So, going into like the modern history of actually why we celebrate it on January 1st is due to the Gregorian calendar. And maybe you guys already know this. I already kind of knew about this because I think I do vaguely remember this from history class. And I don't remember exactly what teacher it was, but I do remember something about the calendar and the days of how they're, put onto the calendar, why we have like some months that have 28 days and some months have 30 or whatever. So, well, actually, only February. But we're going to get into that because there is a leap year, you guys. If you guys, you know, there's a leap year every 4 years or so. Hold on, let me take a deep breath here. Okay, because it's a lot of me talking, so you guys get to see the process here. And let's see. So, the US uses the Gregorian calendar introduced in 1582 by Pope Gregory III. And did I already say this? I don't remember because I was just talking about like myself. Sorry, guys. It's just that I just have to, I guess, share with you some of like personal experiences for me because I don't know how it is for you guys, but some of my experiences maybe relate to other people as well. So, if we're going back to Julius Caesar time, the before during when Julius Caesar was in power, it was the Julian calendar, and the Julian calendar pretty much uh, put in place that January 1st was going to be the first day of the new year, due to the god Janus, because the god Janus was the god of transformation and opening doors or transitioning time. So this god had two faces, forward and back, signifying the future and the past. So Julius Caesar decided that January 1st, after the god Janus, was going to be the new year. And then from there on, it's been celebrated for almost like 2,000 years on this time, this January 1st time. And for the most part, the Gregorian calendar is pretty much used worldwide, I think. There's some religions and some cultures that do not use this calendar. But the calendar was made up by man, pretty much. And there is also, like, if you guys know why, like, the months are named how they are, or the days of the week, how each day of the week is like Monday, Tuesday, whatever, they're named after either different gods or not astronomical things, but like astronomy things. And I found that really fascinating because I feel like I knew this from, I don't know, high school or something, history class, but I recently learned about it again, and it just blew my mind. So I would love to do excuse me, I would love to do an episode on that in the future. But I have some announcements at the end of today's episode, so we'll see you guys. So let me just reiterate everything I've been saying because I feel like I've been just kind of yapping. And I know if you guys are watching, like either you can completely ignore the video or just listen. But yeah, like I don't even know what I was just saying. So the Gregorian calendar was introduced by Pope Gregory the 13th in 1582. But before then, during Julius Caesar's reign, the people of ancient times, used the Julian calendar, which was based on the solar, hold on. The Gregorian calendar is solar based on the 365 days that it takes Earth to orbit the sun, and it includes 12 months and a leap year every 4 years or so. Leap years are interesting because they have to land on a year that is divisible by 400. The next leap year is going to be in 2028, and I think the one before that was in 2024. So it's around like 4 years apart for the most part. But before then, obviously, we had the Julian calendar, and Julius Caesar pretty much made the celebrations of New Year's on the 1st, which was a recent invention, basically, which is like 2,000 years old, but it's still considered recent. And during these times, pretty much, it was a time for people to either not renew themselves, but pretty much get ready for a prosperous new year ahead of them. And so they would have these long celebrations during this time. So for the most part, us here, we're celebrating during winter time. So it's cold for the most part. It could either be raining or snowing, and it just makes you want to be like snuggled, right? So, but in other cultures or ancient civilizations, the New Year was for the most part celebrated during the spring equinox. So the spring equinox pretty much lands, I believe, in March, and some like modern uh, cultures that I can think of that celebrate around the springtime are like the Chinese New Year, which or the Lunar New Year, depending on which you use. But it's celebrated in February, which is pretty much the arrival of spring. February into March, and then we have the Persian New Year, which I believe is celebrated between March or April, one of those, and it's also around the spring equinox. So for some cultures, the New Year happens during the arrival of springtime. Now, the Chinese New Year is based on the lunar cycles, so it goes with the cycles of the moon, which I feel a lot of people don't pay attention to that nowadays either. And this Chinese New Year happens to be the year of the horse. So if you guys are a horse, happy Chinese New Year zodiac to you, because 2026, anybody born in 2026 is going to be a horse. The one before that, I think, was 2014. It's every 12 years, like the animals have like a different animal. So we're coming out of the year of the snake and we're going into the year of the horse. So anyone who is a horse, yay, like I'm a horse with you. So we're horses. And pretty much, going back further into time, the ancient Babylonians celebrated in March and April as well. March or April. And during those ancient festivities, people would pay off their debts if they had debt, and they would go into this new year without debt. They would make offerings to the gods, which I don't know if they had like specific rituals that they would do for this, because I don't know what exact rituals they would have, but they would make offerings and they would pretty much prepare themselves from winter into spring. So, modern day people, I feel like also do have like real, excuse me, they like, okay, hold on. I feel like modern day humans as well, we are also ritualistic people that do have like either superstition things that we do or rituals. Because one thing that I can think of is eating of the grapes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we've done it in my household a few times where you have to eat 12 grapes at midnight in order to like wish for something each month. A grape you eat, you'll eat a grape for each month to have a wish for whatever you want for that month, pretty much. Or like certain colors that you wear that are going to attract whatever that color is, whether it's wealth or health or love, just things like that. And it seems very simple stuff, but does it really have any power? I don't know. And I have done the grape thing before. The color thing, I feel that I have done it, but I don't remember if anything came of it. And now, for me, celebrating New Year's at the age I am, I feel that I just like little things. Like, I like to clean my room so that I could be clean for the end of the year into New Year's. I like to do all my laundry just to have my laundry done and like clean. I like to clean the house just to have everything tidy and nice for the new year. I'll wake up and it's nice and clean. Um, just small things like that. And like one thing that I really want, I mean, New Year's resolution as far as that, because we have those things now, right? Like we put resolutions like, oh, New Year's, it's time to do like a New Year's resolution thing. And I've done these before several times. I don't remember like a specific one that I ever had that I feel like I accomplished anything from it. I remember one year I wanted to be a vegetarian. So for me, I said my New Year's resolution is going to be to either be vegetarian or eat less meat. And I think that one did kind of, I did stick with that for a while. But eventually, no, I ate meat again. And then what else? Like right now, what I really want is just a new toothbrush. I don't know if that counts as a New Year's resolution or not, but I just want to get like a really nice fancy toothbrush, and it might not be a lot or even important, but for me, I just feel like that will be really cool to have a nice fancy like a nice one, because I always buy like the same toothbrushes, and then I've never really gone out of my way to buy like a fancy one, because I feel like, okay, well, when I'm like, how long do I use it? After I use it, like I have to get rid of it. So I feel that there has to be a way for me to have a fancy toothbrush in 2026. But those are little things that I feel are doable. I just want to be more calm this year and be able to handle things, more calmly that are not in my control. And that's all I want. Like, I just want to have good memories with people around me, and that's it. Nothing big. So, New Year's resolution is like a more recent thing that we do as a society, as a civilization at this time. Back then, they had similar things that they would do, but it was also kind of on a smaller scale where it's like you're offering something to a god. And like nowadays, do we even do that? Do we offer anything to a god or anything? Because back then it was a very religious thing going on, especially considering like in 1585 or something. That's when the Pope changed it to the Gregorian calendar. So, and he changed it for that reason so that it could align better with Easter time. Back in the 1500s, I can't even imagine living in that time and how it looked. And it just feels like an eerie time because I don't know. Like it's like I really don't know what that time looked like. I've seen historical things on TV and I read some stuff and I've watched animes that are kind of based in that time period. Like Castlevania. I don't know what time that one is, but back then the church had so much power, and I just feel like that was kind of like a scary time. But also at the time, like just imagining how beautiful the sky would have been, like pitch black during those times in history. Like I can't even think about how the world looks like, because now I'm just so used to like all the buildings, all the lights, the city, and all this. But in ancient times, that did not exist in that way. So yeah, New Year's has been celebrated for a long time, depending on your culture or your background or religious belief. It's celebrated through different times of the year. Some some cultures celebrate it in springtime. I read somewhere that there's other ones that have done it in fall, like the fall autumn equinox. So it really goes back a long time of like this new year, this orbit that, the earth just accomplished around the sun. And, considering things back then, also going back to ancient times, like some of the calculations that were done, like planetary wise and cosmos and astronomy, like the people that were doing these discoveries back then, for the most part, were really advanced mathematicians. And honestly, some of those equations or whatever are still in use to this day, which is incredible, to be honest, because I wish I was super really good at math in that way. I unfortunately did not have that talent bestowed on me. But just thinking about how these people back then used their brain to solve all these problems, and it's just so cool that those things are in place. Some of those things, prediction wise as well, were a real thing. And now we have ChatGPT and AI, and people don't use their brain as much. And for the most part, I like solving problems. I'll use a calculator if I have to because my brain can't do everything like mentally, but I like to solve math problems and equations and formulas. And it's fun for me. It's challenging, but I enjoy it. Just thinking about how back then it was just like nothing to them, like just on paper. I don't know. I just think it's so cool. But what I was trying to say with that is that wait, hold on. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on, I'm thinking. I forgot. I was going somewhere with this, you guys. I'm sorry. Like now this is captured on camera. How embarrassing. But yeah, so we had all this math stuff, and oh yeah, that we weird humans back then in ancient times were more um, tied to the seasons and the way the sky moved, and they could read the sky, and that pretty much decided like how they were going to live season to season pretty much. And people nowadays don't do that. Like we don't really live season to season. I think in modern times we just know that okay, it's winter, it's cold, it's snowing, or we're going to spring, the flowers are blooming. Summer is hot for the most part. But yeah, I feel like we don't live with the seasons anymore. And people back then in ancient societies did live with the seasons. And I feel like as humans, we've kind of lost our way with that. So that makes me a little bit sad because the calendar is how we live our lives now, right? Based off the calendar, based off each month, how many days are in a month, what month we're in. And something I read was that the calendar was created for pretty much control and obedience of the people. That humans are the only ones that live by this physical calendar put in place, um, for the most part for labor reasons as well. But I was also reading that animals don't live by a calendar, they live by seasons. And that's how people used to live before, too, is seasonal. And nowadays, sometimes people like say, oh, they have seasonal depression and stuff like that. And yeah, that's a real thing. I feel like our physical body feels that. So, yeah, there's just so many things with the new year and the way we've been celebrating it, you know, as a society, and going back so far in time, like things that were happening back then and how that's affected us now as a modern people is, you know, like, I don't want to say crazy, but it's just so incredible how our history as a human race in some ways has changed and in other ways it hasn't, because we're still using this calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and we're still, for the most part, people that work Monday through Friday if you have a regular office job, and there's, you know, other odd hours that people work if you don't have a traditional schedule. But I don't know, during the holidays I feel like it's when people feel like this fatigue the most. And in the past, I've had jobs where I have worked holidays, and I've had jobs where if I was in the office doing just regular administrative stuff, that they do actually close down for like a week and we get at least 1 week of a break. But not many jobs do that. So during the holidays, I feel that it's important to be considerate of the people that work at grocery stores and in retail, because like consumerism is crazy. So for the most part, like during this time, I like to prep and think ahead, and pretty much anything I need, I try to do like a week before or a few days before, not like the day right before or the day of, because you know, people working at grocery stores and retail, for the most part, the retail stores close down, but I feel like at least one of the days they'll be closed, like Christmas Day. But grocery stores are still open. So I just want to give a shout out to anyone who works at a grocery store. Thank you guys for working on the holidays and putting up with holiday madness, because it's crazy out there during this time. So, yeah, I think that's it for this episode. There was one more thing I wanted to say, and I completely forgot. And I'm looking at my notes, and that was it. That's all I got. So, yeah, you guys, thank you for joining me today on this special episode. For my last announcements, I want to say that I am planning to rebrand the show and or completely just canceling my show. For the most part, I upload on Spotify, and there's been some controversies on Spotify recently, and I don't know, I just feel like pulling my show from there, because for one, I feel like nobody really listens to the show anyways, and number two, I just want to distribute my show on somewhere where I feel a little bit more comfortable, that doesn't have anything to do with like politics or whatever. So I was thinking maybe YouTube, but I don't know, because when I started this like almost 3 years ago, it was a very small platform. It was called Anchor, and then that just slowly got bought away. You know, like companies buy little, big corporations buy out little companies. So there was that I kind of just, um, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to distribute my show, is pretty much what I'm trying to say, because I don't feel that my show has a lot of listeners for me to go somewhere onto a bigger platform. I have a small audience, and I just feel that, I don't know, you guys. I have a lot of episodes I want to do, but there's also a chance that I'm just gonna stop doing Bunny Beats Radio. I would like to rebrand and change, the logo, my picture, and everything. So we'll see how that goes for 2026. I wanted to try this out. There's one more episode I want to do, which I'll just do an audio for that. But yeah, I think this episode and one more episode is just going to be the end of Bunny Beats Radio for now, until further notice. So I'll have this one come out, and then I'll have one more. So there'll be 2 episodes in January for 2026. But otherwise, yeah, you guys, thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on this journey. I've been doing this now for, I think, 3 years or so. But even before I started, it was already something I was doing in the background, just not uploading anything. So it's been maybe at least 3.5 to 4 years, 3 years of me fully actually taking initiative and uploading content on my Bunny Beats Radio. But even before then, it was still an idea that I had, that I was practicing and trying to test out. And even to now, you guys, like, my tech is very limited, as you can see with my webcam quality video. I don't have clearly the best tech, and I do my best with what I have and what I can afford, especially because I'm not this big show. I'm just like this small little DIY. I'm in the corner of some room right now. But yeah, thank you everyone. I'm so thankful, honestly, for everyone who has tuned into Bunny Beats Radio. It means a lot. So if this is my second to last show, I just wanted to show you guys my face. And for the most part, I feel like I'm a very private person. I don't like sharing. But yeah, you guys, this is it. And I just wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year's. I feel like I missed something here that I was supposed to talk about. I'm still trying to think about it in the back of my brain, but it's not coming. So yeah, I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year's. I hope you guys accomplish what you're trying to do in 2026. I hope just for good things all over, humanity-wise, in the world. And yeah, overall for everyone, just to have a good 2026. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned into the show for 2025 and in the past. I really appreciate you guys. Until next time, take care.